experienced technicians, and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling.
Dwayne, good afternoon to Susan and to our listeners.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Yes, sir. How dealing with the issues with keeping the business going, things not very bright. Like Mr. Mervyn Scott from Scott Development put a piece in the paper, I think it was last week, saying that the company seeing the worst times they ever seen in 30 years, how things are slow in Cayman Brac. That is definitely correct. Only about 4 buildings under construction. You travel from end to end. You don't see no heavy equipment in action in work. And, well, it's laborers are doing well. Foreign laborers is getting quite a bit of work. That's what the work entails. So now in Cayman Brac. But about the company like Scott Development, the first one and I being the second one, heavy equipment companies on the island, it's very difficult in surviving. If they didn't have the export of crushed rock to Grand Cayman, they would have to be laying off people. That's the only thing keeping them going, thanks to Grand Cayman for buying the crushed rock from Scott Development. And that's why they have something to reside to. An alternative, instead of the work here that is hardly nil, going to shipping the crushed rock to Grand Cayman, and that's good that at least they have that. And I would like to say there was a discussion. I heard someone saying that Mr. Steve McField was talking about this great seaman, the late Mr. Clifton Bawden, that passed away, better known as CB.
Mm-hmm.
And my condolences and deepest sympathy to the family. And I would like to say that I had, as my usual, in having seamen honored as a maritime salute in tributes and salutes for the seamen. Last Wednesday night, I had the ocean lit up north of Cayman Brac from 15 miles east of the bluff. The ship transited past here with 2 hours of search lights and deck lights on an ore carrier. Probably he worked national bulk ore carriers he used to sail on. I had an ore carrier loaded with 60,000 tons of steel slabs coming from Brazil going to Mobile. And I have a complete email of the times I made the request for the lights to be switched on and switched off, and et cetera, and et cetera. And that happened last Wednesday night at 7:08 p.m. till just before 9 o'clock. Almost 2 hours the lights were on. And anyone that's seeing the bright lights out on the sea off the north coast of Cayman Brac, that was in honor of him. And again, last night I had a tanker eastbound from New Orleans, the Dominican Republic, loaded with asphalt. He worked on tankers and ore carriers, so I had one of each type of ship that he worked on come by to honor Mr. Clifton Bawden. That one last night had the searchlights on for 1 hour. When I make the request for the ship to come in, then I have to leave from my house at West End and drive almost 10, 11 miles, about 10 miles every time, and then tell them when to switch on the lights or when they're at the nearest point of the island. Well, the request was made to switch on the lights from 15 miles east of Cayman Brac, where they could be seen from the bluff until they passes out of sight of the island. That's normally how it goes.
Yes, sir.
And the other things in discussion, I told you about a week ago that the cruise ship expected here for October, and that ship's supposed to make a few consecutive voyages to Cayman Brac starting in October. But as the good weather months now, when the weather is so nice and calm, we don't get the ships coming here. Even the small ones, they always come in the winter months when it's mostly choppy seas or rough seas. If arrangements could be made by the tourism department, Mr. Kirkernel is, I know he's big in getting the ships coming here. If we could do something with the cruise lines to have ships to come during the summer times and good weather, where it would be very pleasant. They wouldn't have to abort this destination. They could always come here during the good weather months instead of the winter months. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how it is in Grand Cayman, but Grand Cayman has cruise ships like all year round.
Yes, sir.
Not just during the winter months, but even then they can't come there when it's a northwester on as well.
Right. Well, this is it, and I think as they listen to people like yourselves on the ground and maybe respond to the demand or the call for that service may help. Any quick final thoughts you want to share with us, sir?
Yes, I would like to say that small cruise ships are flying between the Caribbean islands and the Eastern Caribbean year-round mostly, and some of them are ranging like from 280 feet to about 500, several small ones, and like a large luxury yacht size at 300 feet. They would be ideal ones to arrange to stop by Cayman Brac and try put a boost in the economy, although that is only certain people get from that as well. We need a boost in the economy here, that number of people that would get an income and keep things brighter here in Cayman Brac. It's still a little paradise island with a population. The last census was 1,868 people, and it seems to be only about probably 700 indigenous Cayman Bracers of our own people, and the rest are foreign. So that right there is about it. So
yes, sir.
Anyway, thanks a lot, and good afternoon to everybody.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you too. I know it's always good to hear from you.
Thanks.
Have a good afternoon, sir. Let's take one more call. Welcome, you're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Don't you take no break?
Okay, there you are. Hey, good afternoon.
Dwayne, Solid.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Solid, Dwayne, this is your number one from the New Kingston.
Yeah. Good to hear from you, sir. How are you today?
Yeah, but I'm not hearing you click when you're clicking me on.
Oh, well, maybe Susan don't have a click in the hand today. I'm not sure.
I hope you didn't take it from her.
I gotta be careful how I answer that.
Yeah, because I tell you what, she put on a lovely show on Saturday. Even to the last song on the Caribbean music. You can't hurt her.
No, sir, that's true, huh?
Okay, and I know you don't like me when I call too much, but I just called to say this. You heard what Raymond said?
Yes,
Wasn't
sir.
that the same thing I've been saying all the time?
Almost word for word.
Cayman Brac needs more things going. We cannot get the same way as Grand Cayman. We are not that big. Fix the place up around the lighthouse on the bluff. Get some things going there. Have the small cruise ship come here. We don't have that big beach. But it's not beach everybody want to see.
That is true, huh?
It's much more things that would interest other people.
Yep.
And I know you're sick of hearing me saying it, but I'm going to say it once you got the show on.
Well, it's unfortunate sometimes that I don't think we have a level of respect nor appreciation, you know.
That's just a way of talking to you. I didn't mean anything by that.
No, not you. I'm talking about when we listen to what is happening in our country, we don't always get to understand that, for instance, you know, what is being experienced on the BRAC and what is being, you know, experienced on Grand Cayman isn't necessarily the same thing. And yet, we're all Caymanians, but are we sharing, you know, or have the opportunity to share in the economic miracle that's supposed to be the Cayman Islands?
Yeah. Well, I say Cayman Brac to representative, no disrespect, want to try to get something more going on this island. And for God's sake, Minister Head, try to fix that place by the hospital. It was pouring there the other morning. They need shade with a wheelchair thing. Fix one side. Minister Health, I hope you hear me, and Alden, I hope you hear me too.
Well, I hope, you know, that we are able to do these things because it's, you know, in the best interest of our country. Yeah.
Calling for no stupidness.
Yeah.
I always call and talk things that is needed.
Exactly. And I think that because of what you share, people here and then something gets addressed because people become aware of it. So it's always good to when you can take time to share with us, because sometimes people don't always see what's before them. They need to be reminded of it.
Yeah, well, I hope they are open today.
I think they are. I think they are.
Well, okay, you send out the vibes.
All the best,
anyway,
sir.
you all have a good day there. Keep up with the good work. I'm sorry I had to bother you, but I just had to get into that.
No bother at all. Thank you for getting into it.
All right, dear. Bye.
Take care, sir. Take care. And let's go back to the other line. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hi, Sterling. How are you?
Very well. How about yourself?
Good. You're trying to disconnect me, but it's not going to work.
I hope no, nothing like that at all. Susan,
Just
says,
sticking your leg.
There you go.
Sterling, talking about the BRAC, Mr. Raymond is doing such a great job over there, getting all these boats to salute, our people and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if we could see some pictures of those boats all lit up, sent down to the Cayman.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Sterling, Cayman is main pillar is tourism. I am very saddened and disappointed to the fact that Cayman BRAC is there waiting patiently and being left out when it comes to tourism. I think something needs to be done in regards to boosting up tourism in the BRAC. Like the gentleman said, there's a lot of small cruise ships out there that can come into the BRAC, and to have Moses for the tourism high profile for tourism and Miss Jula for Cayman BRAC. You would think that they would have their little islands on the top list for everything, and regardless of what they may need in the BRAC. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I hope and pray that something do pick up for Cayman BRAC, because we all got being dying need if things will start boosting up here in Cayman BRAC, and little Cayman, we can be all left behind sooner or later. Sad to say it. And I did heard one of my co-workers and friend in regards to the tourism a while ago, partial of our conversation, and my good friend Miss Shirley, part of our conversation. Sterling, we're not here to beat up no ambassador for this island, but when somebody's ambassador doesn't have the Cayman Island at interest, we have to speak out and tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then going back in regards to the port and building a dock, you imagine North Terminal been sitting there now for many years, and I have not seen any repairs has done in North Terminal, and it's very seldom open the Royal Pier because of bad weather and so forth and so forth. And North Terminal, they open that occasionally from time to time when the slow season. This is considered slow season, but on the last couple of weeks, they've been having cruise ships on Wednesday and Thursday, 3 Thursday and 3 Wednesday, and they're putting some down at the North Terminal. And to open the North Terminal in the condition it is in, and they're talking about how tourism has increased and everything is looking good and so forth and so forth. What is wrong with fixing the North Terminal? That should be closed down until they can get that to a better form, the restrooms, the grounds, and everything. And talking about putting a dock in Georgetown, we may need a dock, but I think Georgetown would be the wrong place to put a dock at the magnitude that they are talking about, and how much effect is going to happen down there in aerial capacity. When I was working downtown at those gift shops, I watched water came up to the Kentucky Fried Chicken door from the sea, salt water.
Where would you put the dock then? If not in town, where would you put it?
I can't say, Sterling. It's not for me to say.
Okay.
I really can't say. I really can't pick up
Okay,
spot.
fair enough. That's fine.
But they have to, go in and find a spot to put it. Georgetown is not the ideal place for that kind of dock they want to put down there. And there's something about it will be 20 years before government could be in control of it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, that's what's being said, yeah.
That is ridiculous, because after 20 years of using the port, how much damage will be at that port in 20 years, and where government going to get money to rebuild it? You know what I mean? But Sterling, sorry, going back to the airport and tourism, Sterling, it is so sad to know that we got people coming off the airplane getting wet, coming out of an air-conditioned plane and getting wet with babies and toddlers and so forth, and then coming back outside again to get into a taxi and getting wet again. You can't walk and brag how great tourism is when you don't have any facilities for these people to come here to the Cayman Islands. They come and look in sun. Yes, they are. But the fact remains is, who wants to step off a plane in rain? Who wants to come back outside and stand up in rain to wait to a dispatch them to a taxi, or waiting for taxis to come back to the airport to pick them up and take them to their final destination? That is ludicrous. And, Sterling, I can go on and on. We got police officers up there. Some of them work good and some don't. And whoever got them up there, they need to come up there and do their job to supervise and see what they're doing and who's not working. Take them out and bring in who's going to work. It's all about $1. It's just like being an ambassador. We got ambassadors out there. It's just in for the dollar and don't give a heck about what they present of this island, how the customer service is, how their attitude is, how their appearance is, what appearance their vehicle is in, and so forth and so forth.
Well, it's something for us to look at, man. Any other thoughts you want to share with us?
Like the first caller talk about the doc and so forth, and Jennifer, my best friend. I'll leave it at that. We could write a book.
There you go. All right.
You have a great one. Thank you.
You too. Thank you too. All right. We'll take another call. Good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Good afternoon, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. How you doing today?
Well, excellent. I always try to look for the better side of things, and so I'm very thankful, man. Very blessed.
Likewise, I really, really do. I'm off today, and I'm in the Barker's dikes, and just staring out at the water and thinking, boy, I hope we don't go crazy down here. Because, boy, this is a beauty.
Well, I hear it might be soon done.
It's the most angering thing ever, bro. I can't tell you. Only space left in West Bay, really, that you can go and clear your head. Just, see nobody for a while. I was sitting here listening to your radio program, Mama, and I just got two things to chime in. I suppose, piggybacking on I just needed some clarity, man, on Mr. Scott's words earlier. He mentioned that the last census, there were 1,800 plus people. I haven't seen the last census for the bank. So the last one I seen, it was like 1,200 people or 1,400 people, something like that.
Right.
But then he goes on and says that there were something like 700 Caymanians, so to speak, in the BRAC. So my questions would be, one, who are the other 1,000 people? And thinking about that question in the context of what he was talking about, there being no work, and what are those other 1,000 people doing? I haven't been to the BRAC in a couple of years, I admit. I love our sister islands, as I do all of the Cayman Islands, and actually consider it home in many instances. And that doesn't make sense to me. Is what's going on in the BRAC the same thing, mirroring what's happening here, where Cayman BRACers are not good enough to work in restaurants and dive shops? And because I can't think outside of government, certainly my little knowledge of the BRAC, there's not many other or specialized areas. Okay, so the hospital, but they work for HSA, government employees. What else is going on in the BRAC that Cayman BRACers, that 1,000 other people can live and exist and be there, and Caymanians from the BRAC can't get work? Can you care to touch that one?
Well, it's been tempting because I think a lot of us not only love the sister islands and have family there, but when we listen to some of them, you get a sense that they're concerned that not only do they want to see development so that they can either come back home or they can stay at home, or if their children go off to university, instead of only having Grand Cayman as an option, they could be employed there as well. But a number over the years have shared that they see the same, I'll use the word as minimum have used before, mistakes that we've made here in Grand Cayman with the pace of development, the type of development. They're granting of permits, they're almost pushing aside of of Caymanians, in their sense of brackers. What happened here in Grand Cayman, equally happening there. And sometimes the sentiments that they've expressed, I'm not quite sure if they're, how do you put it, necessarily false or misleading when it comes to maybe the blind eye or the favoritism or the, whatever else that goes on there. That is also happening here, but maybe a little bit more highlighted because of the size,
What a travesty! What an embarrassment! What lack of vision! What craziness! What other word can we find? That's just horrible, isn't it? That is happening also in the sister islands. I know many in the BRAC. I've heard the sentiments. Many Caymanians from the BRAC talk about wanting some more development, and I understand that, because part of it is many Caymanians from the BRAC have to travel to the bigger island to get work. And but if the numbers that Mr. Scott just gave are true, I have no reason to believe that any further development in the BRAC will yield much more work for Caymanians at that rate, because that's quite a huge skew. 1,000 to 700. That just doesn't make absolutely no sense. And let's just say he was off by a few hundred, it still makes no sense. Well, so it always comes back to two things in my mind. The question is, it's never answered, the proverbial who are we developing for. So we're creating jobs in the sister islands as it.
Caller? Yeah, hello? Wow. Are you there, sir? Nope. All right, well, hopefully, and hopefully it's just, as he said, he was out enjoying himself and nothing there. At least let us know you're okay. Well, his sentiments may resonate with some of us. Let it as, all right, you there, sir?
Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah.
What happened there, man?
You tell me that.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you haven't been in the studio, but where I sit, there's a big desk, microphones, and a headset, and that's about the extent to the control I have over what comes in and goes. So
stick it to it. No, I know
it was you, man.
I blame Flo.
There you go.
But what I was saying, bro, is that it's crazy to think that it comes back to the question of who we're developing for, bro. And short of us all, continue to let the plans for development be in the hands of politicians who seek to be elected every 4 years versus some sort of national development plan that seeks to yield, benefits for the Caymanian people and our aspirations for ourselves at the pace that we wish to see it. I have no reason to believe that the sort of very embarrassing situation that is playing out in the BRAC, as it is in Grand Cayman for many, many years, won't continue. So to all of our fellow Caymanians that are from the BRAC and that are shouting for development, be careful, my friends, because what we have lost here on Grand Cayman is, as far as the social component of development is quite sad, and one that I would hope not be played out in our sister islands, to be honest with you. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. Then the other thing was, quickly, you asked the caller before about where would she move the dock. I've been thinking about it for a while, and believe me, it's not easy for me to share where I think it should be, only because it brings it closer to my backyard, so to speak. But given the amount of development that's taken place in that area, and the reality of I guess, greater good versus destroying the immediate downtown environment, because I'm not convinced that that's not going to impact us negatively if we continue along the lines that we're doing now. But I've been thinking about that area that's just at the corner of Town Hall Road and Northwest Point, just at the Northwest Point launching ramp, only because the water drops off the drop-off, given how it curves outward very quickly. So you don't have a long not as it's the deep water starts very close in, is what I'm getting at. So they wouldn't have, and they would only have to accommodate the first part of the ship. So I'm kind of thinking two pairs of government just recently put a huge buoy out there for some of the very classy yachts that come here, and so that we don't have the situation of the billionaire destroying the reef again. But I'm kind of thinking, I entertain that area for that same reason. It's not created. I know there's a few dive spots to the north of that, but I think if it's positioned just right in that particular area, there may not be too much. And again, this is without a EIA, of course, an environmental impact assessment, but certainly just given the depth of the water and how quickly it goes very deep on that particular point, that's an area that I think they should seriously consider. And I know the taxi drivers are kind of thinking, well, some of our major attractions are in West Bay, so will you kill our fares? Not necessarily, because people who are taking tours, as they do now from Georgetown, would be taking tours to Georgetown, for example, because that's where all the shops and stuff are. I'm kind of just thinking about a disembarkation point. I would certainly hate to see that, any sort of major developments in terms of stores, anything there, it's all residential for the most part. Well, for the most part. But just on that one point is an area that I've been, thinking about for some time, and something I think is certainly workable, just from
something to work on. Indeed.
Something to work on. Thank you too, Dwayne.
Thank you too, and enjoy, be safe, and hopefully hear from you again soon.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, we're going to pause and take a short break. When we come back, some of our esteemed contestants will join us in the studio. We'll tell you about it. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Save 50% off a complete pair of glasses with any student eye exam. From now until August 31st. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. Located in the Caymanian Village. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you ready to pace yourself? The Lions Club of Grand Cayman's 7th annual Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 15-mile walk-run
is Sunday, September 2nd at West Bay Road, Public Beach.
Register today and do your part to help raise awareness for prostate and colon cancer and also raise funds to help support victims and survivors in the Cayman Islands. Registration fee is only $25.
The Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 15-mile walk-run Sunday, September the 2nd at West Bay Road, Public Beach. Call 917-7223
or visit caymanactive.com to register today.
I've got some beautiful clothes. My No just red vector.
Meet the world with Puritan Cleaners. They are here for you and me. Best cleaners you will see. Happy 60th anniversary to Puritan Cleaners. Puritan, now using the most popular and eco-friendly cleaning solvents. Through the month of August, take 16% off on all men and women's apparel. 4 convenient locations to serve you. Savannah, Countryside, Elgin Avenue, Georgetown, Centennial Towers, West Bay, Eastern Avenue, Georgetown. Drive-through, rain or shine, free pickup and delivery. Call Puritan Cleaners, 949-7104. You feel good when you look good.
Talk to Dick.
But I do have some questions.
Talk to Dick.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk to Dick.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, I know it's raining outside and it's dark and dreary. But hey, look at how bright and wonderful our future is as we have in the studio the beaming, shiny faces of 2 of our contestants from Miss T, Miss Leo, Miss Caitlin. Ladies, good afternoon. Thank you for coming in. I'm sorry about the rain and probably messing up your hair and your wardrobe and all that. So challenging, right, Miss Leo?
Yeah, it's a little hectic out there, but thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Miss Caitlin, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Now, listen, I leave it to you to share with us. When you came in, I said to Miss Anita, wait a minute, you guys were on before. I kind of recognize the faces and the names.
Yeah, I had an interview a couple of weeks back.
That's right, man. You were sitting right there. I remember. We were right there. See?
You have good
memory. Yeah.
That's about as far as the memory goes. But for those who are just joining us, could I invite you to share a couple of things? When is the pageant, how we get tickets and, all that. And then a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about the thing. And we'll talk as much as you want and about whichever you want. And hopefully I'm not only respectful, but I also, do it in a way that the country can see that we have an excellent future ahead of us.
Okay.
Miss Talea, we start with you since you sit the closest to me.
Okay. So my name is Talea Green. I'm contestant number 1 and I'm sponsored by Matt Crust. And I really encourage all the listeners to come out to the pageant on the 25th of August, which is this Saturday at 7 o'clock. And it's at the Lion Center.
Yes. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Caitlin Seymour. I'm your contestant number 5, representing the District of Bordentown. I am proudly sponsored by APS Security. And I hope to see everyone out there. Tickets are on sale at Funky Tangs, as well as us contestants. We have all of our social medias open, so you can give us your information and we can get tickets and stuff to you. Ticket prices are VIP is $40, generals $25, and children are $15.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Instagram, my Instagram name is Talea Green 1. Caitlin, your
and mine is Caitlin Seymour 5.
Mm-hmm. As I was listening to you and watching Miss Susan give me direction, I'm thinking, I only got a little bit to do. You guys have a lot to do.
Yes.
Could be if it's okay. I don't actually want to trade secrets, but especially for the other contestants, or future contestants who may be thinking about this, and then to us as a public to get to appreciate that there's a lot that you do leading up to it, but there's a lot that you do prior to even considering getting involved with the project.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely all about getting your mindset in the right place. You have to figure out whether or not you want to do it and whether you're doing it for the right reasons and know what you're getting yourself into. So we have a lot of stuff that we're doing. We have etiquette training, we have public speaking, and we have coaching with Miss Cayman. She helps us know how to walk and work the stage and different things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so we practice I think every day of the week except Friday. Yeah, so we practice every day of the week, have our rest day on Friday, and different interviews, different little dinners that we do. So it's a lot of preparation going towards the pageant leading up to it.
And definitely before, there's a lot that goes into it, because a lot of ideas is that in the public that it's not really about academics, and you definitely have to make sure your academics are up to date. That's something they are really straight on. You need to have all your grades up to date. So that's definitely something that comes in prior.
I appreciate that, because I think there was that perception that it's about everything else but academics.
Yeah.
Even though there is a good scholarship, from what I gather, is available amongst other things. So the academics are important and helps you to balance all this.
Not only academics, there's also cultural aspects. We have to go through a tour of not only Grand Cayman, but their sister islands as well. We have to go to Cayman Brac. And, well, not have to, because it's a pleasure going to our islands.
I know it, no.
No, it's a really good thing just to, brush up on our heritage and learn about our culture. And then we are tested on that as well. So.
And our history.
Yes.
Right. Now, from that, you were saying that you got to know that, what you're getting into and all that. For some, what are you getting into? Because I've seen some of the schedule, the training, both the physical and the etiquette and all the other things. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But what are you getting into?
Well, you're getting into a very wonderful experience, but it's only going to be a wonderful experience if you make it a wonderful experience. So if you go into it with a negative mindset, oh, I'm not going to win, other girls are better than me, then that's probably going to be your outcome, So it's an experience that you really have to make the most out of and make sure that you're taking from it what you can get from it.
And you're also setting yourself up to be viewed so much by the public, and it's
pressure.
very different. Because I remember being fine to go out in my sweatpants and go to Burger King and get me a burger. And a couple of days ago, I did the same thing, and a lady recognized me, and I was like, oh my God, this is how far it's gone.
Yeah, you definitely have to change your wardrobe decisions and how you have to look presentable everywhere.
Of course.
You're always on stage, so to speak.
Yeah, basically.
And you're being a role model for your public, and so it's very important.
Yeah. That's something that I think maybe as I listen to you, we could carry on to all of our lives. We grew up with our parents, grandparents tell us, no matter who you're for, never forget. Always someone's watching, and for them, it wasn't just the physical person. They would point up their fingers up, never forget who's watching. Yeah. So you're always on.
Of course.
Wow. Is it nerve-wracking? I mean, you guys make it easy. From the last time you were here to now, you own the stage, the radio, the TV. It doesn't matter.
I guess it depends on the person. If you're a very shy person, it can be very nerve-wracking. But if you're a very outspoken person who loves the attention, then it's a breeze. It's no problem for you.
And the training and everything sets you up to really break out of your comfort zone.
They prepare
That's
for
what
stuff
it's
like
definitely
that.
about. So you definitely break out of your comfort zone, and then that allows you to push forward and do radio interviews and do the TV interviews and the whole.
So even that person who was a bit shy,
they still help them to break out of that shell. It's the pageant is a good platform for shy people because it helps them to break out of their shell and gain more confidence.
From your perspective, if I may, don't answer if you don't hear. Would you have considered yourself shy some time ago?
Probably when I was much younger.
She says at the tender age of her teens. So
as a teenager, I'm definitely someone who's outgoing with a very loud personality. I talk a lot, so it just goes.
For me, I'm kind of in between. I guess it depends on who I'm around and who I'm comfortable with. Because I'm a performer as well. So when I'm on stage, it's totally different. But you have to understand that I'm performing in front of people that I don't know. So it's like thousands of people, and I don't know none of them. So it's just like, oh, I'm going to do my thing. And then when you're walking around the island and your eyes are on you and you know everyone, it's kind of a different thing. So I'm kind of in between Yeah,
that sort of behavior sometimes that you, like I said, sweatpants just to go out to do something that is okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. But now, look at what she's wearing.
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
Are we, as a society, a little bit too judgy? Critical?
Yeah, definitely. That's the very, very honest answer right there, especially here.
All right, can I get some advice from you guys? Because you were smart. Forgive me for a second. I don't really care what people think of me, and I know I should. Honestly, I don't. Should you?
Yes and no.
To a certain extent, yeah, because you have to stay true to yourself and do whatever makes you happy. And if you're doing something just to please other people, then you're
not happy.
Yeah. Not happy. Yeah. So be yourself, but be sincere.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
The way I see it too is that I always say that I was given the last name that I have, and I'm very prideful in it. And you just want to make sure you carry yourself to that degree and that caliber that people can look at you and say, yes.
You live up to that.
Yeah.
You bring honor to it.
To your name.
Never discredit. And then your next generation does the same thing, and then eventually.
Definitely.
Set an example.
See that, boy? I like it. Well, I want us to be able to look at where we are and talk about the pageant, but you guys are inspiration. Are you finding that your peers, your other classmates, they want to be a part of this, whether as future contestants, they want to come out and be in the audience, they rally around. Is it inspiring and motivating for them as well as it is for you?
Well, I have some friends that are considering it for next year, and then I have others that really want to do it, and then they're just afraid to do it just because there are a lot of things riding on the experience. But I do believe that we're making different moves that are inspiring some people, because I have gotten DMs from younger
right?
girls. Yeah,
no, I'm not young. Come on now. DMs, I'm thinking direct note. What? Okay.
But yeah, I've gotten DMs from people that tell me that they're going to join it next year. So I do feel that we are kind of sort of an influence on the young generation.
Learning the lingo.
Definitely. And our friends and family rallied together. They were their signs, posters, the whole shebang.
Yeah, we had a motorcade just last Saturday, and we had a lot of support from that.
Yeah.
So amazing. Now, would this, we'll pause in a second, take our break, go to, get Miss Susan, take care of things. We'll come back and share more. I'm going to ask you a couple of things. One is, yes, Miss Teen would next be Miss Cayman or other pageants. What are some of the future things? If you want to share, you can talk about your respective platforms, if you so choose, right? And to our listeners, if they want to call, that's fine too. I think we're on YouTube and something, Facebook and something.
YouTube Live.
YouTube. Okay, see? Yeah, Susan said, thanks for helping her. No, I'm just kidding. We're on those things. Why not pay attention to our guests? Please, 1-800-534-8255. We'll remind you again when the Miss Teen contestants will be on stage and who's going to walk away with it, because they're all winners. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more. As well as just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Brandsource Home Gallery has been appointed the exclusive Cayman supplier for Duravit bathroom products. Duravit is the leading international manufacturer of bathroom ceramics, tubs, and showers, recognized around the world for beautiful, functional products. Winner of top industry awards, Duravit collaborates with leading European designers to provide the most elegant and innovative bath products. If you're ready to bring style, comfort, and innovation to your bathroom, visit Brandsource Home Gallery to see the new Duravit showroom and meet the in-house bath designer. Whether you're planning a functional family bathroom or a personal spa retreat, browse the Duravit collection and be inspired. Brandsource Home Gallery, delivering a new standard in custom designed bathrooms. Brandsource Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for joining us as we welcome two of the contestants for upcoming Miss Teen pageant. If you just join us, we have Miss Soleil Green and together Miss Caitlin Seymour. Now, what I ask when is, just in case someone is joining us, when is the competition?
It's a pageant contest competition.
Yeah.
Heard it all.
You heard it all? Okay. When is it again?
It is August 25th, so this Saturday. Gates open at 5 and the show starts at 7. And tickets are on sale at Funky Tanks and within the contestants also.
All right. So we can get tickets from Funky Tanks or from either of you?
From us, yeah. The tickets are $25 for general. VIP is $40 and you pay $15 for children.
All right. Yeah, children 16 under, I think.
I think it's 12 and under.
I believe 12 and under.
No, man. It is... I think a time when I watched over the years, a different, maybe friends or family, and you go in the audience, and it's a different environment. It's a different setting.
Yeah.
You know, it's competitive, but then it's pageantry. It's fun, and you get to see
pageantry is competitive.
Yeah.
It is.
Huh? The aspect.
Yeah.
What was it? If I may ask, I'm just going to start with you first. What was it about that attracted you? What made you want to get into pageantry and Miss Teen in particular?
Okay, well, I wasn't a pageant girl prior to the pageant. I wouldn't consider myself a tomboy, but I just wasn't into like girly girl stuff, if that makes sense. I didn't wear dresses, I didn't wear heels. It wasn't interesting to me. But I heard about the pageant, and some previous people that I knew did the pageant, and I've heard that you get a lot of good stuff from it, and it helps you internalize a lot of stuff, and definitely improves you as a person and develops you. So I just wanted to change. I wanted, to enter for the experience, for the memories, and just to try something out. Because I feel that we as the youth need to be putting our time into activities that are productive and that help us better us as individuals. And I feel like this pageant is a great way to do that. So,
what were you?
Yeah.
Miss Seymour?
So for me, it was the experience. I had done smaller pageants in the past, and it was all about being a bigger role model within my community. So I definitely thought Miss Teen was the best way to do that and to push myself out of my comfort zone and do something a little bit bigger than I had ever done before, and actually experience something within my own community and having my family and friends be here to be able to rally behind me. So it's definitely something that I don't regret doing, and from each and everything that I do in it, I see myself grow, and I'm just excited.
Well, that's something that I've come to recognize over the years, that with Miss Teen in particular, but even Miss Cayman and the other pageants, your families are just as much part of it.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
They're like the hugest support system when it comes. Without them, we couldn't be. Maybe the Miss Cayman contestants, but especially us, how we're younger and we need to get certain places and do certain stuff. It's not that we can't really do ourselves. So the family definitely helps us and supports us.
Yeah,
my mom especially.
Just entered.
My mom and my grandmother, all of them just help with so much. Yeah.
They become almost contestants by extension.
Basically,
yeah, you don't see them though, but they're there helping in the background.
Yeah. Someone said to me, it's kind of, but not the same, but being a contestant in a pageant is like being a candidate in an election sometimes. When you go in places and doing things, you get recognized and you get, he used the word judge, I say assessed, evaluated. Is it like that? You're always on stage?
Yeah.
All right.
Especially in the public, because Cayman is small. Everyone knows everyone. If you don't know me by name, you know my mother.
Oh yeah, same for me as well. Yeah,
it's definitely.
No, from that perspective, there are, I think they call platforms, right?
Yes.
You pick up a particular. Let's start with yours. What's yours and why?
So I chose bringing awareness to performing arts. I've been a professional dancer for about 6 years now, so it's something that I'm very passionate about. And what I plan to do is contribute to the community by bringing awareness to bringing about the values of respect and tolerance through performing arts. So how I plan to do that is performing arts is a platform that gives youths a space to express themselves. So basically it's something that you can use to your own abilities, to your best abilities. So there's a lot of teenagers nowadays, especially in Cayman, that feel that they can't express themselves or that they're always being judged like us as Miss Teen contestants. So I feel that by, promoting singing and dancing and theater and drama and all that stuff, it'll definitely give them more opportunities as the youth to express themselves and hopefully make the people of Cayman more appreciative and less judgmental towards performing arts. Yeah.
What about you?
And mine is mental health. I think mental health, sadly, is something we don't talk about as much as we should in the Cayman Islands. And for me, it really stemmed off of reading the newspaper and actually seeing that Cayman is going through a difficult time when it comes to speaking about our mental health and making sure that we're providing the necessary resources to those in need and we can actually have an open discussion about mental health. So that was very important to me in reading and seeing that Cayman has recently seen the death of, I think, 3 males in particular that have killed themselves through mental health issues.
A challenging issue. I mean, we have every month here with the help of Dr. Alexandra Borden and some of the other psychologists, a monthly show just trying to talk about it and preparing for that. It's hard. It is. And our society doesn't look at it. We hide it. We deny it. So I commend you for taking on such a difficult and sometimes vexing and very, very challenging. Now, performing arts, without question. You can be expressive. You have a platform. You can say and do things, but you can also influence public opinion. Good or bad.
It tells stories, like especially dance. It's not just movement to music. It's expression. It's you bring out there to the public what you want to bring out there and telling your story.
Okay. What will be next for you guys, if I may ask? Win the pageant and become the title holder or not, where do you see yourselves down the road? The screen 10, 15, 30 years even.
Oh,
yeah,
15, 30 years.
Yeah, because 10 years easy, but give me 10 and give me 30. Come on, give me 10.
Yeah, give me 10. Well, I definitely, even win or not, the platform is something that's near to my heart, so I'll definitely still be bringing awareness to that and definitely encouraging the youth to get more involved in performing arts. I see myself college, university, studying what I want to pursue and definitely just focusing on my goals and just focusing on myself in 10 years.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think you might want to? And if you change your mind, hey, that's fine, to do the right thing.
Well, as at the age at the state I'm at right now,
what do you think?
I'm still undecided, actually.
That's fine.
I love performing arts, but then I'm very into sales and marketing. So it's kind of like in the middle of like entrepreneurship and just like branding myself. So not just one thing is not going to be one thing. I know that for sure. It's going to be multiple things.
I find out with a lot of young people, and I'll come back to that because maybe it can help me.
Yeah.
Some young people are asking me, and back in my day, not like with Susan, because when she was young it was different. When I was young, there were just dinosaurs running about the place. But you knew what you wanted, you went for it, and it was one thing. You guys are multiple things because you're multi-talented.
Well, I think it's because of the society we live in now. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You can literally make money from Instagram and from YouTube. There's so many different jobs and things that you can do without a college education. So it's definitely different standards now.
Yeah. Seymour, what about you? 10 years.
So in 10 years, I hope to be somewhat still on the island. In between, I hope to be in college and pursuing education, preferably in the field of finance or radiology, and just enjoying life, doing a lot of traveling, spending time with my family, and once again, like you said, working on myself and just living life for me and just enjoying every bit of it.
And hey, listen, as you do it, you're safe and you do it to the fullest. That's all we can ask for. But
that matters.
Yeah, man, it is an interesting time. I think it's, no, again, only if you wish. Being a parent today and being an adolescent today, is it difficult for that parent to relate to that adolescent? There is all this thing that's going on. And even the good child, even that respectful, respectable child who's trying her hardest in school, maybe playing sports, doing all sorts of things. But you're bombarded by so much as a parent. Yeah. From you, Miss Leo, is it hard? What do you think? Because you have a great,
I hope my mom's not listening.
Okay, let me call her, tell her not to listen.
My mom she's actually very in with the time. She's not like...
But she's young. And
she's very, she's young. She knows, she's very relevant. Okay, so it's not really big of a generation gap for me and my mom per se, but I'm pretty sure with other parents, there's that sort of barrier between then and now.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah. For me, I personally haven't experienced it. But, I mean, there are some things that I have to tell her, like, this is what it is, Mom. It's not like that anymore. But that's very rare.
Yeah, because I had to get Joelle to give me some, DM means.
See, she knows all about that stuff, so I have to know. Yeah.
What about you, Miss Steve?
For myself, I definitely see it. Me and my mom, we have a very big age gap. And when it comes to speaking about that, I love the fact of me being able to teach my mom something new and us having that moment of when she realizes something, I'm like, yes, Mom, you got it now. This button
turns it on, huh?
So I definitely enjoy that. And for me, it all comes down to perspective and parents understanding that no matter what, they've probably gone through this same or similar thing to what their child is going through, and they just need to take a step back and realize, well, hey, I had the same experience when I was 17, and actually just share that experience. And I think that's where parents kind of go wrong, because they kind of just think of it in the moment and like, oh my God, you can't do that. And it's like, but I did the same thing.
You become protective.
Yeah.
You don't want them to make the mistakes that you made.
Yeah.
And that could be a small little thing. You walk in, there's a puddle. You don't want the child to step in that puddle.
Yeah, but then they have to remember that mistakes are what makes us. That those are the things that define
stories.
Where we are. Yeah.
Parents, I think, are more surprised that their stories that they tell us actually pushes us to learn and actually
exactly.
Like, okay, I don't need to go through that. I'll just take my dad's word for
it.
Are we though? Are we willing? Because the parents today, with children once, as you shared, are we willing to listen to our parents and our children? Yeah, well, hey, listen, you don't need to go down there because I've been that road. Take my word for it.
It all depends on the parent, to be honest.
And the child,
yeah.
And the child, too.
Yeah.
It's on both.
Yeah?
Yeah, it depends. Situations vary.
We got a break, Miss Susan. Is that news coming up? All right. Ladies, when we come back, can you share more? Tell us about the pageant. Tell us about yourselves. For those who are listening, if you want to be a part of the discussion, hey, you can, call us, 949-8037. You can WhatsApp 925-3261. Call Miss Susan. She'll tell you how to go to YouTube and search for Radio Cayman Live and focus on our contestants. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The consultation for the proposed healthcare decisions bill is still open. Ministry of Health Chief Officer Jennifer Ahern says the bill came about after a conference several years ago focused on end-of-life issues and the need to provide the legal framework for advanced directives such as living wills, which would give people who are near death a voice in their treatment and care. The public consultation is open now until September 30th. Visit the Ministry of Health-gov-ky website to find out more on how to send your feedback in. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere,
Pope Francis has written an impassioned letter to all Roman Catholics to again apologize for the systematic clerical sexual abuse of children. His intervention comes days after more than 300 priests in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania were accused of abusing more than 1,000 children over a 70-year period. An inquiry has opened in Johannesburg into alleged corruption and misuse of state funds by the former South African president, Jacob Zuma. Mr. Zuma is accused of granting members of the Gupta family influence over government appointments, contracts, and state-owned businesses. A new study on global warming suggests that heat waves and torrential downpours are likely to become more extreme in the northern hemisphere. Scientists at the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact and Amsterdam's Free University say temperature rises in the Arctic have already affected the behavior of weather and wind systems further south. The European Commissioner for Financial Affairs has said Greece was now a normal country in the Eurozone with its exit from its final bailout programme.
The BBC's David Austin. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us as we have an opportunity to learn more about the Miss Teen contestants and the Miss Teen competition, the Miss Teen pageant. This Saturday evening?
Yes, sir.
Was it 5 o'clock, 5:30?
Gates open at 5. The show starts at 7.
7. Get there early, man.
So you can get your seats. It's going to be a full night.
I think it is, man. It's going to be...
It usually is, yeah.
A lot of opportunity for us to see what, our people are up to, the talent, the potential that is, within our youth. To the contestants, Miss Soleil Green and Miss Caitlin Seymour. I was just thinking during the break of a few things, but first off, for the night, for those who haven't been in a while, what is the night like? Yeah, there's a bit of pageantry, there's performance or talent.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So before we actually get to the pageant, what a lot of people don't know is that the contestants go through an interview process, which is the make or break of whether or not you're going to win the title. It's a very big portion of the pageant. That's very important. So besides going on stage in swimwear and professional wear and evening gown, we have interview and we have on-stage question. So
those are the two biggest.
Yeah.
Now, is the question... well, if I can ask, are there more than one question that's asked of you? Is it an interview?
Yeah, we all get different questions. It's different from the
It's
Miss
within
Cayman
a bowl,
pageant.
yeah.
Yeah, so we pick it out of a bowl, and then we have like about 30 seconds to answer the question.
Yes.
So it's a little different from
30
Miss
seconds
Cayman.
a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
where they all have the same question.
Are the other contestants there when you...
No.
So is that contestant with
on
the
stage
people?
By themselves in front of...
So everybody's there.
Oh,
So pick out a bowl and the questions asked. And is there another interview that takes place before that, separate apart from the audience scene, or that's the...
It's just the morning interview that's done that morning.
Okay, with the judges and so on.
With the judges, yes.
Is that the same question or a different question?
No, it's a series of different questions that just get the judges to know who you are and really understand you as a person.
To see if you're ready for the title.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I was just thinking about this, the scientific aspect of it.
Yeah.
Different questions from different people can elicit different responses.
Yeah, we wouldn't know if they'd ask us all the same questions.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Do you know the questions beforehand?
No.
We actually get tested on some questions that have been asking from before, but we don't get the exact questions because they don't really tell us that, because then that would be unfair. So.
All right. Yeah. And you know who the judges are beforehand?
No. But what they always tell us is that they could be anywhere and we wouldn't know.
Exactly.
So we always have to be on our
generally
A game.
picked
So
the
judges
community.
could be listening right now and we wouldn't know.
It could be Miss Susan. You don't know. It could be
don't know.
Just don't know.
Don't know.
Well, we did say at the outset that whether we like it or not, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I think it's unfortunate our societies have made it a bad thing. When we judge, I tell people, be discerning. Oh, you're judging. Well, be discerning. Always be your very best, no matter who's around. Right? You guys, are encouraging and you're inspiring. So, talent for the evening. Do you have to do a talent? So, there's the interview. There's the interview before an interview, and then the night now.
Yes.
So, the night starts off with our introduction dance, and so we get to have our 3 to 5 minutes moment on stage for everyone to see us and getting groovy with some good music. And we definitely encourage everyone to be there before, because we are definitely excited for our introduction. And then we go into our professional wear and introduce ourselves to the audience, and then we move into our talent, then swimwear, and then evening gown.
Okay. And that's when the big crowning moment happens.
Yeah.
Just
big crowning and questioning moment happens.
Definitely.
So it's both nerve-wracking and exciting.
Yeah. Well, you're all incredible, I think, and as you continue to hold your heads and walk with our poise and our grace and humility and expectation, make life your oyster and just own it, The talent. Each of you have to do something, right?
Yes.
I think Miss Susan's talent was eating cassava cake. Sorry, turtle. You used to see her laugh sometimes. She actually falls off the chair, but not today. She was buckled in. We had to get, we had to put a seatbelt on. What would be? Can you share your talent? Do you think? You're gonna do a okay.
I'm doing a Cayman story script, and it involves some dance.
Okay.
For me, I'm doing a dance as a woman empowerment piece.
Woman in power. Oh,
yes.
Okay. We had a couple of questions off here. Can I just pose them to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Ms. Susan fielded some questions from some of our listeners. We're speaking to two of the contestants in the Miss Teen competition, Miss Teen pageant, Miss Soleil Green and Miss Caitlin Seymour. Question was asking about pageants and the way they objectify women and the like. And one was, I forgot which pageant is that took off the swimsuits out. Some
Miss USA.
Miss USA. Okay.
Yeah.
See, sorry, she was telling me some. So some pageant. See, you guys know, no longer has the swimsuit aspect of it. So I won't phrase it how it was put in, but how do you feel about pageants? Do they objectify and demean women? What do you think, Ms. Green?
Well, I think it's a common perspective that, you know, it is that way, that it's only about beauty and our outside appearance. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. That's how society views the pageants. But when they actually get to hopefully hear interviews like this where we're explaining what we go through, they can see that it's way more about beauty than it's academic, it's culture, it's the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself, your intelligence. It's a lot more besides the beauty aspect.
And I feel the exact same way, and it's very sad that that's what the public has been taught to think over these years of looking at pageantry. And the whole aspect of it is just showing your health and your physique. Like, you should be proud to be in the skin we're in. We're living in a generation where we're sadly, as women, we're thought to shame our bodies because we don't look like that supermodel or Kylie Jenner, and it's about just being good in your own skin, so why not?
Confident,
we live on an island, we wear swimsuits.
I know, it's normal.
Someone shouldn't, right?
It's like it's different because we're wearing it on the beach, right? Nobody has a problem. And then when we're on stage, it's like
we're not prancing around telling you to look at my body and, I'm better than everyone else. That's not the connotation and not the idea we want to set off for the public. And I definitely hope the public will get out of that mindset, and we will see the future move on and see how we grow, whether or not Miss Teen does remove the swimsuit aspect of it. But for right now,
Miss Susan, can I share what you shared? She says, commend you guys. You've given both you an excellent response, very confident, great poise. It says,
thank you.
Join us whenever you want.
Thank you.
She is exceptional. Miss Susan is amazing. I think former Miss Universe. I think Miss Susan way back when, Miss Universe. Miss came back. No, she's incredible. Photographer, poet, and the like. But could I ask, as I look at our young people today, not just our women, our young boys as well, and the way they move about society, their goals and aspirations, their expectations, and the things that they're affected. Some of them feel like there's no hope. They don't see any scope for meaningful employment. They don't see that some of their parents or teachers understand that, I don't have to do this in order to be successful, that this is success. They feel, despondent to some extent. What do you think about that? I mean, what's your views?
Well, I just feel that the children or the teens that are doing that, it may not exactly be what their dreams are, what their goals are, because, society definitely puts a strain on us to be something that we're not. So they can look at different things that they see in life and be like, I want to be a marketing manager. But then that's probably not cool where they're from, so they probably just want to resort to doing drugs or doing alcohol or doing, the stuff that you were just mentioning. So it might not be their decision. It could be their decision, but then again, it could be just peer pressure and them just trying to fit in and go along with the trends.
Yeah. The way I see it, too, is we need to start to redefine success in this generation, because we see so many people, I know here in Cayman, that haven't gone to the biggest university or haven't gone to university at all, but are still very successful people just through the fact of they applied themselves through something they know they can do. And as long as you know a talent, something you're good in, whether that be construction, building something, you can apply yourself and build something out of that. And we definitely need to stop putting pressure on our youth to think that, okay, we want the job that gets the most money, but at the same time, we're not passionate about it. And that's where we're getting in the downfall. And now we're sadly seeing that in our older generation of them not being happy in their jobs when they're 50, 60. And that's definitely not what we want to do and not where we want to be in 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, I think definitely once you're passionate about what you're doing, that's when you have become successful, not when you're making billions of dollars, when you're happy
and sitting there
and content with what you're going through.
What is the description? How should a profit a man gain the world and lose his soul? In a sense. So you're not passionate, you're not happy in what you're doing, you're just doing it for the paycheck.
Exactly.
You referenced earlier, and I'm glad you did that, we as a public don't always appreciate that academics in the Miss Teen is an integral component. I had a couple of discussions recently with some students, and one educator in particular, and it left me my perception. I came away with it that there was this sense that in some schools and some classes, that if students excel or they really, really want to get the very best grades, that they're not encouraged, sometimes by teachers indirectly, but a lot of times by their peers. I don't want to use the word bullying because I think sometimes that gets a little overplayed. But they're not, they're not seen as a smart child and, hey, I want to be like that. They're pushed to the side. How do you respond to that? Is that something that happens here? Is that... I see Miss Alea's wheels churning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about situations that I went through in class. A lot of in my experience, going to school in high school, a lot of the smarter kids, and you would think it should be the other way around, are not praised as much as the other students that just like make fun of stuff in class and are called the quote unquote class clowns. So it's very different, and it should be the other way around, but unfortunately it's not. So as to where they're called like nerds or geeks or it's very unfortunate.
That's real then. I mean,
it is.
It is real.
Okay.
It's definitely like a segregation, as I would want to say that you have the smart kids, and then you have the kids that try, and then you have
the kids that just don't.
Because it was unfortunate. There was a particular student, she wanted to study something, and as she going through her, remaining years of high school, it was just something that was a little bit off. And having a conversation, I think we as adults fail to realize that we have this obligation. We've made mistakes, so hey, this is the mistake I made. Don't be ashamed of it. It's made. Give someone a chance to learn from that mistake. But there was this child, and I thought, here is someone who has aptitude. Okay, she may be really smart, but she's not trying because she's being, I don't want to say a bully, but she's in her own self limited.
To not be smart, basically.
Because then she gets called out, or she puts her hand up because I know the answer. Oh, Miss Pants, you think you know her. Little
that's
things.
Definitely how
that's it right there.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, back when if you didn't know something, that was when you tried to know it. The fact that you knew everybody else wanted to, and it's what has caused that. Want to think about it, and then we can talk about it after the break. Yeah. I know you guys are really jumping in. Susan, I got to hear what she's saying, but I got to take a break. All right. You guys are awesome. We'll conclude our discussion when we come back. Okay. Celia Green and Miss Caitlin Seymour, two of the contestants in the Miss Teen pageant. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Did you hear that Vant Motors has your sale going on now? And you get your choice on the money you'll save on your new car or truck?
My sale? My choice? Really?
Yeah, and they have lots of cars on sale, some up to $7,000 off.
Sounds pretty good.
It gets even better. You can choose to take the full discount, or you can get some or all of it as cash back.
Extra cash back would be great.
Exactly. And you can even use the savings to extend your warranty or service plan so you'll drive worry-free for years longer.
Another good idea.
If you want to upgrade with something like a new roof rack or backup camera, you can choose that too.
Wow, I get to choose?
Yeah, that's why it's your sale, your choice. Going on now at Vant Motors on Walkers Road, while stocks last.
Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for the 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National Bank, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
The Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, in association with the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, presents Steve Higgins and Friends in Embracing Romance. An elegant evening with Dahlia Winter, April Marr, Amaya Lewis, and Steve Higgins. Sunday, September 2nd at the Marriott Beach Resort, 7 Mile Beach at 6 p.m. sharp. Come hear impeccable performances of timeless love songs, punctuated by riveting, stunning creative dance in a classy, romantic evening. Tickets at Funky Tangs or Super Stitch and Virtue, or call 916-5008. That's Embracing Romance, Sunday, September 2nd at 6 p.m. at the Marriott Beach Resort with Steve Higgins and Friends. Proceeds will go to the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. Sponsored by Harney's, NCB Capital Markets, S&P, Auger, and Radio Cayman.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio, to the contestants for the Miss Teen pageant this coming up Saturday. Miss Caitlin Seymour, Miss Celia Green joins us, and as Miss Susan able to make sure that we go out on air sounding great. She says, "You guys are awesome, man." Sorry to, again, had a commercial break. I didn't want to interrupt you. your answer. But we were talking earlier. Want to continue sharing? Wants to jump back in the screen, Miss Seymour?
Well, we weren't sure because the question was, what causes that barrier between the smart kids and the ones that don't apply themselves as much. We honestly wouldn't be able to say though, because
I don't want to stem it down to jealousy, but it's just that you have a divide of kids that apply themselves and kids that just don't, and they know at home knowledge is power, and their parents definitely probably stand behind them. It's like, get a good education, that's your ticket. And if they're not doing that, they feel within themselves that they're doing something wrong, which they know they are. But then when they see that child that is applying themselves and getting the 99s on the exams, that's where they get the issue, and then you have that divide.
So parenting is, as we said, we adults, whether parents, coaches, or teachers.
Parenting is
an issue.
Yeah. I commend you, and I look at things always as, very optimistically. And when I see people like yourselves, I won't say young people, but people like yourselves, who see the world and can go and embrace it with all this enthusiasm, all this expectation. What can we do as society, as the parents, as the coaches, as the older people, as the prospective employers and customers of your businesses and business partners? What can we do now to make it safe, nurturing, successful, the very best? What would you want from us?
I would say just to put yourselves in our shoes and just remember what you went through as children, and remember how the atmosphere was for you, and if it was a good atmosphere, to bring that same energy around us. So there's a lot of people that feel pressured that the older people are always going to be talking about them badly, and we're given that impression because it actually does happen, So I'm guessing that if it was decreased to the point where, they're just giving us a more open space to just be ourselves a little bit more and, bring down the pressure, I think that would definitely give us more opportunities and make us flourish as individuals and young people.
Yeah. And for me, it's all down to respect. I think in our generation, we kind of lack respect back and forth, whether that be between a parent and their child, a child and a teacher, and all that stems from at home. And parents really need to focus on that, I think, in the Cayman Islands, because that's where we're seeing the outcome of crime and children just not even respecting the law. So I definitely think it's
respect.
Just respect.
Was it Aretha Franklin? RESPECT?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's true. No? I know. But she's amazing. But this is really
her
art.
legacy still
lives on today. Yeah,
great, amazing. She made a big impact on my platform, performing arts. So it was a big impact for me.
No, I think that if we look at our society and we're willing to embrace our youth, to understand the technology that is there, that's being leveraged. Yeah, it's maybe being abused and misused by our youth, by our adults, by others in a different. But it is us to set, sort of the narrative and ensure that there is that respect, there's that integrity. One final question, if I may, because you guys are not just only super smart, but laws and legislation, regulations and enforcement and the like. Any things that you would amend, change, or introduce that is lacking? Ms. Green?
That's a tough one. I definitely have to think about that one. Yeah. I think that our laws now are fair. A lot of people might have disagreements with that statement, but I do feel that they are fair. I mean, there might be a couple that could need looking into, if I could say so. Yeah. For myself, so I did use Parliament a year and two ago, and it was great experience. And personally, I would not have to say anything definitely needs to be changed. There definitely needs to be more, I guess, examples and more pressure put onto our politicians to make sure that our country is staying making sure that the voice of the community is heard within the Legislative Assembly, and we're definitely getting what we want to get done and within a good, timely manner. And
you should, go for it.
There's just been a lot of talk about the politicians, and I mean, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone is trying their hardest to better the country, and it's just all about because we're in a democracy, right? So everyone's voice needs to be heard, and the more the better, but then sometimes it can cloud people's judgment. So I just feel that the community needs to be heard, you know, and our voices matter, obviously, and what we have to say is important, and it could definitely help improve the community, because some people actually have some really good suggestions as to what to do to solve certain issues that are happening right now.
No, from the political and even the social perspective, I hear, this is just what I hear, or young people say, well, we're not being heard, nobody, you know, oh yeah, you listen to us, but that because, so they don't feel like they have a voice, that what they say matter, that people pay attention to it. You know, some are not old enough to vote, but even those that are, one, is that true? And two, if it is, what can we do to make it?
Well, personally, I feel that a lot of, even me personally, I used to be this type of person where I used to complain, because nowadays the biggest talk on the island is it's boring. There's nothing to do. There's no recreational activities for the youth to do, and if there are, we've done it all already, because the island is so small. We've just done everything, you know. But I feel that it's a complaint that needs to be addressed and not overused. You know, we complain about it all the time, and the youth can come together. We're intelligent people, we're an intelligent society. We can come together and think of something, put programs together, implement different recreational activities that can be, you know, used. So I just feel that instead of complaining, there needs to be action put forward towards that problem, at least, because a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What would I do? Well, I would first, you know, see what's popular and what the youth has to say, and see what they'd want, what type of thing they would want to go to, what they would go to, what they would pay for. So I definitely have to get feedback first, and then I would act on it.
If you could, if it was you, what would you do? What would be the things that would, you know, you'd want to do? Because that same complaint, you know, when, believe it or not, I was young once, and it was boring. You know, the company was said then, and Susan said when she was young, and that was even long before that. Don't tell nobody. It was the same complaint. She's not paying attention. But that's always been, you know, in the small, and no matter what it is,
course,
you get tired of it because you've done it before. What's missing?
I think there's more room for growth here in the Cayman Islands and having our youth be more involved in our community. I think not that many kids are actually involved in volunteering efforts, and you have kids sitting at home while you have dogs at the Humane Society that needs to be walked. So it's definitely the aspect of kind of bridging that gap between the kids at home on the couch to volunteer efforts within the community that they can get involved in. So I feel like that's one thing, as well as, you know, maybe finding, we all love dance and to go out and get dressed up for whatever reason. So maybe having, like, you know, how the adults have their clubs, having like a teen disco or something like that every weekend, that, you know, it gets the youth more involved, as well as making sure we kind of have our time for entertainment and just have our time.
You know what? This is, I think, where, as you both shared, the fact that we give you not only the autonomy but the authority to do it, to regulate and rule your lives, as it were, set the framework and the structure. We would see that it would happen, and, you know, let you be a part of it, because you're not just tomorrow, you are today. All right. Final invitation to our listeners to come to the pageant and maybe an appeal and share with us as you wish. I enjoyed it. Hopefully I've been, you know, not just polite but respectful to you guys. You guys are amazing. I wish you and the other contestants, you know, not just success on the stage but in life as well.
Thank you.
Closing thoughts, Ms. Green, and then Ms. Seymour?
Well, I just hope everyone, you know, sees that the pageant is not just about beauty now, and that they've heard our voices, and that they're encouraged to come out to the pageant. 25th of August, 7 o'clock, Lion Center, 25 general, 40 VIP.
15 kids.
Yeah, just saying. Yeah, it's a night not to be missed. So.
All right, and please, how do we follow you guys? Because I kind of get used to that. You following somebody.
We all have our Instagram, so I can give the other contestants Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
But my Instagram is Talea Green 1.
And mine is Caitlin Seymour 5.
And I think she's contestant number 4, is Aaliyah Harrison. I think that's her name.
4, yeah.
Aaliyah Harrison 4.
4.
Yes. And then Letitia Bush is
2.
Letitia Bush 2. Okay,
right.
So you follow other social medias. We're all just updating, like going along the pageant, along the way.
The final home stretch.
Yeah.
All right.
Excited?
It is, man. It is exciting. I know for you individually, for your families, but for the community as well, because I think this has been an ongoing pageant, and, you know, many of us have family and friends. You know, our spouses may have been contestants or esteemed winners in the past, or children probably participated. So it has a long history.
It gets the community rallying.
It does indeed, man, and it's a lot, and it's something that hopefully we continue to support and encourage and nurture and give you guys a platform today, but for the future.
Of course.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's been amazing.
It's amazing. It's we're honored to be part of it. That's why we sponsor it, but it's also why we try to encourage through our internship programs here. I must commend Ms. Norma, Ms. Paulette, the whole team at Radio Cayman. They are truly involved personally and corporately within our community, and you guys do us proud, man. So be safe, be successful, and
hope to see you there.
Will you be in attendance?
I usually am, but I'm in the back. If you don't see me, you don't. People don't get it. I don't crave publicity in the limelight, and if I could,
you get it.
You're on a radio talk show, and you don't
publicity.
People don't. Honestly, it's weird. Huh? I'm not like some people who love that kind of thing. It's just
it's good. It makes you you.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think today
embrace it.
I'll be a better me tomorrow by starting today. Again, thank you both very much. Always hold your heads high, and let no one define you. You control and contain the narrative. All right.
Okay, thank you.
And see more, Miss Green. Congrats to the other four as well. All right, to our listeners, I think Susan has some good songs in store for us. Not Free Defender, but maybe she'll play one of those. Maybe it'll be, Arena Night in Georgia. She likes that on Arena Days. I have a special request, but she says she can't play that.
Oh.
Third World. Tomorrow, come back for the buzz. Be part of Talk Today right after the midday news and midday meditation. If we're lucky, we get a chance to speak to more or the two others on the contest. So we'll see how that day goes. Until then, be blessed.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.